Hi guys, so I just got back from seeing Lee Cronin's The Mummy. This is a movie that I was stoked for because I am a massive fan of Lee Cronin's work. Obviously, we know him for The Hole in the Ground and most notably Evil Dead Rise, and more similar to this film. Uh, and I thought the trailer looked fantastic. It looked intense, it looked scary, it looked wild. And James Wan is producing it. It's a Blumhouse movie. Um, and I had so high expectations for this because I just all the signs were there to be great, and I was like so excited. So I went and saw it tonight, and I loved it. I thought this was very, very good. And it's a shame to see that this movie is actually pretty poorly received. It's not like horribly negative, but it's like mixed to negative reviews that I'm seeing on it. Um, I will say this though, if you are going in expecting something like Brendan Fraser's The Mummy or that Tom Cruise Mummy movie, you are going to be pissed off and you are not going to get what you want because this is nothing like that at all. In fact, I would hesitate to even call this a mummy movie. It's more like just a mummy movie because it integrates some of that like lore into what it actually is. How I describe this is I described it more as an Exorcist movie meets an Evil Dead movie. That's how I described this film. Um, but it was wild. The acting from everyone was amazing all around. I feel like everyone gave a great performance. The visuals were wonderful. The practical effects were phenomenal. They looked nasty and gross. And the movie had some very squirm inducing moments that honestly did get me squealing. And I will say, if you're a squeamish person, you're going to have a lot to look away from in this movie because there's a lot of pretty nasty imagery. Um, and just the horror really worked for me, especially in the last act. It goes so wild and bonkers and off the rails, and it was wonderful. And I feel like the thing that's going to be a big mix for a lot of people is the overall reveal of what's with the mummy thing, because this movie does play out as like one part haunting movie and another part like investigative trying to find out what happened to this possessed person movie. And I feel like once you get the reveal, because like the whole thing is engaging, and once you get the reveal, I feel like some people are going to be disappointed by it because it is a bit cliche in what it tries to do. But to me, it didn't matter. I was on board with it, and I feel like even though it does have cliches, it was interesting and still unique from a cultural perspective, which you got to understand. Almost everything is going to have cliches. It's impossible to be wholly original at this point in time. But overall, I had a wonderful time with this. I think that if you are someone who isn't, obviously opposed to this being not really like a mummy movie and more of like, one of these like exorcism or Evil Dead movies, and the trailer was interesting to you, then I think you're gonna love this. And I did. Definitely one of my favorites of the year so far. So that is my review on Lee Cronin's The Mummy, and I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. Let me know what you think about it in the comments, and as always, subscribe to me to see more horror and thriller reviews.